Did you know that snow makes a great kickstand? Happy winter, everyone! Welcome back to Broadway Biker. It is a balmy 10-degree day, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to get out here and finally do a biking safely in the snow video for y'all. Some folks have been asking about winter biking and specifically commuting, how to make it work, how to be safe, how to take care of your bike. So I'm gonna go over a couple of those things in this video and hopefully make you feel a little more empowered and excited about getting out in the good old winter snow. Right now, I am still using the bike that I rode across the country on. I haven't changed my tires at all, so I'm riding completely, basically slick tires with maybe like a whisper of grip on the sides. You know what, we'll just say that I intentionally haven't put my studded tire on my bike yet because I was gonna make this video. Anyway, so here I am riding just a lovely old slick tire commuter bike. The only, I guess, fancy winter accessories that I have are these fenders, but I ride with these all year round. They're an absolute lifesaver, clothing saver, frame saver, butt saver. Totally recommend getting a cheap pair or a really nice pair of fenders at some point if commuting is something that you love to do and you love being comfortable. So here I am, ready to play in the snow, ready to fishtail, ready to drift, ready to show you how to get through the winter safely. Let's get started. All right, so first things first, let's talk about pre-ride prep. More than ever in the winter, it is super important to stay highly visible. Not as many folks expect you to be out on the road, so defy their expectations and be super bright and visible doing it. I would recommend a crazy high-vis jacket or vest. Definitely wear your helmet, get yourself some proper gear, and you'll be good to go. I have a whole video about staying warm below freezing that I'll put in a card in the right-hand corner and link to below. Check it out if you want. Lights are a winter essential. Get a good USB rechargeable front and rear light to last you for years to come. Before each ride, always make sure that your brakes are working. Before you even start pedaling, just pump them a couple times to make sure you're actually going to be able to stop in adverse conditions. A winter bike varies a lot from person to person. Chances are the bike you currently ride can turn into a badass winter machine. Things like fenders, wider or knobbier tires, or even a studded tire or two can make a world of difference. Alright, now let's talk about some riding techniques. Braking can always be tricky in bad conditions, so I follow the tap, don't pull rule. See this? Don't do it! Instead, give your brakes light and consistent taps to slow your speed down without locking up your back wheel and losing traction. Snow can bounce and slide you all over, but don't be tempted to overcorrect your steering like this. Instead, use slow motions to get your bike back on track. You'll get the hang of it in no time. My go-to motto in winter is JKP, or just keep pedaling. You'd be surprised how much slush and snow you can get through if you just keep calm and keep the wheels moving. Shifting into a lower gear is really going to help your back wheel keep traction too. Many people like riding fixed gear bikes in the winter because you can feel when you lose traction more than riding a freewheel. But unless you're a fixie pro, I'd recommend starting off with a geared bike. Make your turns much wider than usual. If I'm worried about a turn, I'll employ the 1 foot on, 1 foot off maneuver seen here. Basically, you just pop the foot on the inside of your turn out to keep yourself from taking a spill if you encounter any ice midway through. Works like a charm. Winter bikers could learn a lot from mountain bikers when it comes to picking a line. Always be looking ahead to be aware of potential hazards in the road or path. Look for the path of least resistance, the one with the least amount of snow, slush, and ice, and ride there. Obviously, don't ride in the middle of a two-way road, but don't be afraid to take the lane in the winter. Better to be safe than to slip and end up underneath someone's car. Okay, now let's talk about riding conditions. The road can look so many different ways in the winter. It can look great or horrible. The reality is, 80 to 90% of the time, your roads are going to look like this. It's just going to be pavement, so just ride it like you normally do. Then we get to loose snow. Loose snow is shifty and kind of squirrels you around a little bit. Keep your steering steady, don't overcorrect, keep pedaling, and just be prepared to drift a little bit from time to time. Speed and riding in a lower gear is going to be your best friend in this case. Have fun, it's like a winter sport. Hard packed snow is amazing. It feels pretty much like riding on pavement, but a little bit bouncier. You can just pretty much ride on this like normal. Slush is probably one of my just most least favorite things ever about winter biking. Slush is a really pillowy and slippery substance. Your tires are gonna slip all over the place and you will never get a good grip with the ground. Again, just keep pedaling. You can make it through. Your front wheel is going to start slipping and sliding all over the place, but using slow motions, try and keep your steering as even as possible, keep moving your legs and get through. Again, definitely shift down to a lower gear for this one. Ice is the actual devil when it comes to winter biking. Small patches of ice you can normally ride over with no issue, but if you see a big patch ahead, just do not do it. Ice is a recipe for an instant fall, and falling really hurts. Always remember there's nothing wrong with getting off and walking your bike through a section of terrain you think is going to be too difficult or too dangerous. Winter biking should be fun, not stressful and full of injury. If you have other options other than a bike, there is nothing wrong with calling it off on a really bad day. Welcome to my dark and dingy basement. So after your ride, there's just a couple things that you want to do to keep your bike really happy and working great throughout the winter. They're pretty simple. You just need a rag and some chain lube of sorts. First things first, we want to get all of the salt and moisture and potentially sand off of the major moving components of your bike. So I'm just going to wipe down where my cables are that are exposed. So like my shift cable is under here, and right now it's coated in just a bunch of ice. So I'm going to wipe down my shift cable. I'm going to really quick wipe down both of my braking mechanisms, especially my rear brake back here. And then I'm just going to do a quick wipe down of the chain and especially the rear derailleur. The jockey wheels are going to grab a lot of slush and hold on to it, and when that thaws and melts, it's going to rust just that portion of your chain. So if you've ever ridden your bike in snow or rain and then the next day you ride it and you're like, God, why are only like a couple sections of my chain like really screwed up and like they won't bend out flat, they're like rusted in that shape. It's our good old derailleur back here screwing everything up. So let's just get the moisture off of that. Just really quick, drop, 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 or spray, spray, spray. Your chain down with a little bit of oil and you are good to go. It doesn't hurt to throw a little lube on your cables as well. You can just drop. Some people do it from where they're connected to the top, or if you're a low maintenance winter biker like me, you can just drop it from any part of the cable that is connected, honestly. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna leave my bike to defrost and I'm gonna head upstairs and wash my hands. If you leave your bike outside where it's still cold, you don't necessarily have to do this. I would do this less frequently because it's not going to melt, and the biggest thing that's going to kill your bike is actually the water melting off of it, not the water staying on it. So if you're leaving your bike outside, don't worry about all this crazy stuff. Just knock some of the snow off and you'll be good. Maybe take it in, let it thaw, and do like a clean every week, every 2 weeks, whatever feels good to you. Yeah. Keep your tire pressure in good shape, lower it a little bit. It's the winter, you need more traction, and have fun biking. And I hope the lighting is better wherever you are. Okay, get your butt on a bike and I'll see you in the next video.